Lockport Township High School District 205 parents and guardians. My name is Dr. Bob McBride, Superintendent of Lockport Township High School District 205, and this is your board meeting brief for the Board of Education meeting that we had right here in the Porter Room on Monday, October 16th. As always, we have resolutions and recognitions, amazing things going on here in our district. And we started by honoring students who have achieved national recognition. We began with recognizing an Eagle Scout. Eagle Scout nationally in the Boy Scouts of America is the highest honor that an individual can earn. Right after that, we recognized our National Merit Commended students. These are students who found themselves in the top 50,000 students in the United States who are seniors currently in high school. Incredible national honors for these porters. Also, we acknowledged one of our own, a staff member, Mr. Bill Kane, who was named Illinois Science Teacher of the Year. An incredible honor for Mr. Kane, who is humble, inquisitive, passionate, and energetic every day with his students. I am just happy every day when I see Mr. Kane, hear him talk about science, and I know that he's working with our students. Illinois Science Educator of the Year. Incredible. Congratulations, Mr. Kane. A few issues I'd like to share with you that our board really pulled apart and discussed in their meeting. One that's consequential to anybody listening to this board meeting brief, and that is our annual operating tax levy. In September, we approved a budget. Now, our board members have to work to fund that budget. The primary way that we do that is through an annual operating levy, tax levy, that uses property taxes to generate revenue for the district. But there are many different options that a board can exercise to decide how much will that levy be for you, a homeowner, a property owner, a renter, a taxpayer. In public comment, we really started with a suggestion we received last month. We will take any suggestion, run it through analytics, and see what it produces. We had some citizens in our annual budget hearing who recommended that we lower our levy this year by $4.5 million. So we began the levy discussion looking at that option. First, we looked at an option where we merely take our budget and we levy the amount of our budget as our annual tax levy. We examined that revenue over time, looking at not only what that revenue would mean this year, but also what it would mean in the future. Certainly that trend line indicated that we would keep our debt low, we would balance our budget at the end of the year, we would continue to have an income stream that would allow us not only to meet our budget every day, but it would also allow us to do all the kind of repairs and major projects that we have to do with roofs and parking lots that are necessary to keep our district moving forward without going to you, the taxpayer, to constantly fund a $3 million project, a $4 million project. We compared that levy and that constant stream of revenue to reducing the levy by $4.5 million, which would mean reducing our revenue by $2.3 million the coming year, and then the next year, 2024, reducing it by another $2.3 million. Our Director of Business Services, Stephanie Croy, shared with the board that in that option, reducing the levy by $4.5 million over time would lead to a dramatic decline in the district's revenue, so that by 2029, our revenue would almost be less than our operating budget, leaving really almost no margin for the district to have fund balances that could address major issues like roofs and parking lots and improvements that we need to make. The board also took a look at a third option since we were already in that discussion. That third option is approving the levy as it is, but then beginning a strategy every year to abate back to you as taxpayers what's called our bond and interest payments. Rather than including our bond and interest payments in our budget every year, we would actually take care of those through fund balances and abate that money back to you to give you a small, modest tax break. We would do that over time. Really, what I would want you to be aware of is the board right now is brainstorming all the different ways in the economic times that we face right now to levy an appropriate tax levy that keeps our budget strong, keeps our program strong, keeps our debt low, and also avoids deficit spending. More to come. We'll have to approve a tentative levy in November. We'll have to approve a final levy in December. The other major conversation that we had was our annual discussion of student achievement. Very important. At the end of the month, the Illinois State Report Card will come out, rating our district, giving us what's called a designation. The highest designation is exemplary. Behind exemplary is commendable, and I expect that Lockport Township High School District 205 will receive a commendable rating. I shared with the board a number of metrics that we're looking at where there's some good news, but there's also some work to do. Reading. Reading in our state is measured by the SAT. Our students on the SAT had considerable growth from when they took the PSAT as sophomores to taking the SAT as juniors. We exceeded the national benchmark. We grew by over 40 points when really the benchmark is only for a class to grow by 20 points. That's great news. But even better news is in mathematics. For a number of years, we have not been making the growth that I would like to see in mathematics. We did not make the national benchmark from PSAT to SAT, but we far exceeded the growth benchmark. We were supposed to only grow about 20 points from PSAT to SAT. Our students in mathematics grew 50 points. My prediction is that we are on track in math to exceed next year the national benchmark, and that is great news. We also focused in on two things that are the most important to the state when they rate a school: graduation rate and freshmen on track. We still have a graduation rate that we believe is 99% of our graduates graduate on time. The state would say that it's 93% because the state treats some of our students who go to the CCC program between 18 and 23. The state still, one more year, counts them as non-graduates. But if we remove those students because they are legally required and we're legally required to provide that education, we would have a 99% graduation rate. Similarly, we have almost 95% of our students finished their freshman year last year on track to graduate. Porters are on track. They're also on track in advanced placement and dual credit, where now we have larger numbers than ever of students who are leaving Lockport Township High School with enough credit to qualify through advanced placement or through dual credit for college credits even before they're in college. The remainder of our presentation dealt with our strategic plan that we developed 3 years ago with an organization called District Management Group. That entire strategy is about how do we help students when they struggle. And believe me, all students struggle. Whether you are in an AP class, you're in an honors class, you're in a college prep class, or maybe a remedial class, students have moments when they struggle. And our board has invested quite a bit with Compass, a program called Math Plus, and a program called Reading Plus. And we demonstrated to our board the tremendous gains that we've made in grades, primarily in A's, B's, and C's, and lowering F's among our students when we put those programs in place. Some very good news about our strategic plan. You can find it all online. Our entire report, 120 pages of data that we look at on our students, is right on our board agenda. So I really recommend that you check that out. That's us being transparent with you, our community. Finally, two announcements for you, two things to pay attention to. Thursday, November 9th, it is our Gold Card dinner. We bring senior citizens at our community in for a dinner at 5 p.m. and then we all walk down to the auditorium for the fall play. If you know a senior citizen that's interested, you could just email me directly because my office runs the Gold Card program. And then also a very important event, Friday, December 1st. It's our annual acknowledgement of veterans in our community. It is an amazing event that takes place before a home basketball game, a source of pride and just a chance for us to thank the women and men who have served this country. If you see our website, you will be able to find, if you know a veteran who should come and receive that acknowledgement, we'd love to honor a veteran in your life. Thank you so much for listening to this board meeting brief for your Board of Education meeting on Monday, October 16th. Thank you, and go Porters.